That is what's up. What's going on, sir?
What's happening with you?
Nothing much. Nothing much. Another day, another 50 cent.
Yeah, I like the dollar version of that saying.
You know what? I can see how that will be important.
50 cent take longer.
Oh man. Let me see. Let me check and see if everybody logging in before we start. If you are here right now, I apologize. We there go T man, there go it feel right to have TP back. He just
Yeah,
feel
What's
what's
good.
up,
up,
man?
T?
What's up?
What it do?
We're gonna have no chill on later on because they are the LSU podcast. And I think Pooh will be here around 9 o'clock. And yeah, that Will Wade situation is crazy. Like how you lose your job, NCAA violations, and then go back. Like,
What
so
color
we'll
is
talk
he?
about what's that?
What color is he?
I mean, you right. You're not wrong.
Um,
You're not wrong. I find it I find it interesting. I
They
find
just
it.
keep moving the bar.
Oh yeah, and in the state of Florida,
It
you
used
know,
to be you had to be promoted, you had to do something that's promotable. That's what it used to be. Now it don't even matter. You could be a Fox News anchor and be the
look at
Secretary of the Defense.
you
You
got
could
no
be a
argument with me.
30-time convicted felon and be President of the United States. That's why Denmark taking all their gold and paying or selling out all the damn bonds that they invested in the U.S. along with the EU. Talking about they're a bad bet. When has the U.S. ever been considered a bad bet?
You know,
Well, we talking about sports. Sorry,
yeah. Um,
that's the
TP
news. Just the news will have you newsing.
TP Marlowe retweeted. I'm sorry, liked something on Twitter today, and I got scared.
Hey,
You know,
you gonna have me in these Twitter streets.
that's that's not good for nobody. But I want to see it.
Sure it is.
You know how you can't like turn away from a car accident.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see it. So let me uh let me check and see if Doc gonna make it in. I'm not sure if Doc at work or not.
My thing is, if you come at me sideways, I'm gonna come at you straight with a little slant.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Let me call Doc. Let me see if he at work. I thought he was off this week, but I want to be sure because there's a couple things I want to get his opinion on. Um, especially that Quinn Gray interview talking about us showing up to games and how you can't get corporate sponsorship if they look at. Hey Doc, can you hear me? Oh, he at work. I know you was at work. Go ahead. All right, so Doc at work. My bad, y'all. I want to welcome everybody to another edition of the Gathering of Old Men podcast. Myself, TP is back. Yes. So, Marlo is here as usual. Uh, we haven't caused a commotion yet, but for those who don't know, Marlo is on Twitter. Um, I really want to like put some of his best and famous clips up, and then at his Twitter handle. That ain't gonna be good for nobody. That's not gonna be good for nobody. It'll be fun to watch though. Oh, it'll be fun to watch, but that ain't gonna be good. That ain't gonna be good.
It's always good in the hood. Yeah, for those who don't know, I'm from the hood though. I'm from the hood though. I mean, really, really, really from the hood though. So be careful.
Well, we are a week and a day away from FAMU's spring game. I'm sorry, Ashton's birthday weekend. That also happens to have a spring game. Um, I have decided that it was in my and his best interest not to take him to be out day. Although I want to go, I just don't think that was like the best idea.
Now, when is BIB?
Saturday after the spring game. So the spring game
Oh,
is next Friday
oh,
night spring game, and then be out day is that Saturday.
oh, look at there.
Look at God.
All up in them Tallahassee streets.
I just, I won't. I want him to go to be out day, but if it's the Be Out Day that we enjoyed, I don't know if he should be at Be Out Day.
Well, if it's gonna be anywhere around campus, it ain't gonna be like Be Out Days of old.
What you mean? Be Out Day was on campus
But it
at the
was
practice
different.
field.
It was different. It was way different.
How was it different, Marlo?
There was no camera phones. Internet was spotty. He had dial up.
Spotty at best.
Yes.
It wasn't no Wi-Fi back then. Well, it
Mm-mm.
was Wi-Fi, but it wasn't like that. No, it wasn't even Wi-Fi back then.
There
You
wasn't
had
no
to
Wi
run
Fi
cable.
back then. Yeah, you had to get the Ethernet cord. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Basically, you're saying it wasn't a lot of evidence.
Yeah, there was no. If you saw somebody with a big old camcorder on their shoulder trying to document the event, you just knew to move to the left or move to the right. But now you can be in a whole situation and everybody just got their phones out, and yeah, there is no good that can come of that. So yeah, they ain't like it used to be. Hell, we used to have Freaknik, Kappa out.
Hey, now.
They could never. Black Beach weekend. They don't even want spring breakers to go to Daytona no more.
I'm just trying to see how many
Uh-uh.
Twizzlers I got left. And these are
Yeah.
sugar-free Twizzlers, by the way. Sugar-free. Sugar-free Twizzlers. I'm sorry. Zero sugar Twizzlers. So, well, um, today was interesting before I could get all the stories that I wanted to get to done. I feel like people just do stuff that try and trigger me, right? So we've been talking about these my daddy raggedy ass Rays for a little minute in their new stadium. And I had people telling me that I was wrong, that the deal was done, it's gonna happen. If the deal is done and it's gonna happen, why you got stakeholders writing puff pieces in the St. Pete Times or Tampa Bay Times or whatever they call it now, saying that this could be a generational move that we should get behind it? Okay,
You
okay.
just so happen to say raised, and that's what I'm representing today.
I'm
That's
just,
crazy.
I have some questions for them raggedy ass Rays. If if
Raggedy though. I mean,
raggedy,
They raggedy because they ain't never won anything.
I,
and
yeah,
1.3 billion
we
dollar
have, we
stadium.
do have, we do have a couple minutes
They have some
that
awesome.
we
They
do.
got first loser trophies. They do have some first loser trophies. What, two first loser trophies? They do have those, right?
Wow,
Um,
it is real with you.
it ain't even
That's
hate
just
though.
crazy.
Like you getting on. Listen,
Well, we we have several AL championships. That ain't no second loser.
you right. The biggest
A
selling
first
game
loser.
at every the biggest selling Rays game every year is the Yankees and the Boston Red Sox. Why that is? Why that is? Because
Because
we have more
because they
Boston
spend a
Red
trillion dollars on their damn roster,
or
and
or
you and you can pay and you can pay the bare minimum to go to the game.
Okay.
Unlike going to Yankee Stadium,
Okay. All right. But those people are here. The majority of those fans are here. The Rays have not converted anybody. So you're begging a fan base to give up on, I'm sorry, begging a community to give up on infrastructure projects to build, I'm sorry, a $2 billion stadium for losers. And I know it's some Seminole fans that get mad when I say losers. I'll get to y'all in a minute. Um,
that's crazy.
but am I lying? Am I lying? Since the Yankees have decided that we gonna outspend everybody, and I don't think the Rays have to outspend everybody. At one point, the Rays had a very good farm system. I don't know what happened to that. But all I'm saying is, before you get on the internet and start begging fans to get on board with this ridiculous plan, maybe you should redesign your stadium to include affordable housing, because right next to this stadium you're going to build is a college apartment that goes to the college. So the kids that go to HCC or H whatever they call it now, since everything's a state institution, but HCC, there's an apartment complex that is attached to that school. Make sure when you build a stadium that you expand that or get some more affordable housing. You can't say fuck the people who can't afford to live here and then also ask those same people to give you their sales tax money, because that's where the money coming from since they're trying to get rid of property taxes, and say, you know what, give us all this money, fuck the bucks, fuck mass transportation, we just gonna build a
Whoa, whoa!
stadium.
They're not
Now he
saying
on my
fuck the
side.
Bucks.
You see it, TP.
They are not saying fuck the Bucks.
Marlo, they
They
is
can't
taking
say
your
that.
parking space. They taking your parking space.
No, they're not. I got a truck. I'm parking in my damn parking space. I done paid for it. I'm parking there.
Respectable.
They
They
shouldn't.
won't.
They shouldn't charge people. How like I pay for my season pass parking over there like $750 for the season, and we have to pay in advance. Like we don't show up the day of and pay. So if they decide to go forward with this, of course the stadium isn't going to be in construction no time soon because they can't get out of permitting that fast. But uh, what the fuck? Like, yeah, how y'all gonna do that? To like, they make so much money on parking at that. Like, they got to be a significant part of that school's revenue.
And then,
Has to be.
when you post the link to your article and post your little blurb on your Twitter post, I looked at the comments. I don't normally look at the comments. I just want to see if I'm crazy, because sometimes I be out of touch with the fan base. I will admit that I be a little ahead of the times when it comes to my comments. Right, 90% of the comments is basically get the fuck out of here. Why y'all can't afford to pay for it yourself? Like the comments was not kind. So whoever your PR guy is, y'all must got the
Well,
same PR guy as the old owner. Cause
here is the thing. Baseball really isn't that huge of a deal for the lion's share of Tampa residents. So you saying you're
then
gonna
don't build a
take
stadium.
you because they want another beacon for the area. And this isn't the people. These are the people that they elected. Like it's very it's a very slippery slope when you think you're bigger than the people. Because all they had to do was see what referendum was if the people wanted it and then move accordingly. These people ain't trying to hear that shit. You're gonna take away our infrastructure money?
Yep.
Well,
It's crazy.
um, quick update. Texas is down 38-39 to Purdue. Um, I'm, I got faith in Texas. They're gonna pull it out. I got faith.
I got
They don't.
Texas plus 6.5 tonight.
Yeah, that.
Ooh.
Come on
I
with it.
just. I'm sorry. I don't. They don't play basketball in Canada Junior. They just don't. I don't care what nobody say. So I got my money and my faith in Texas. Yes. Um, but Marlo, you are 100% correct. You are 100% correct. The governor of Florida ran his happy ass down to Tampa to try and drum up support for it. I don't know if y'all paid attention, but Hillsborough had an election, and this is generally a Republican area. Like we're kind of purple, but the city has enough to like carry Republican, right? Democrat got elected last Tuesday. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I don't know if nobody was paying attention. So when the governor ran down here to drum up support, and they lost the election, and the governor's saying he want to get rid of property taxes, so to speak. Um, sir, maybe, just maybe we ought to revisit this whole stadium thing in Tampa since they already had money allocated in Pinellas County. Now, what would just like tickle me pink because I'm petty is if Hillsborough tell them no, and then they got to go back to Pinellas County, and Pinellas County, specifically St. Pete, say, we already gotten plans for the stadium. We expect y'all to be out in 28. Have a nice life. But I'm petty. I should be better. Maybe Pinellas County will take grace on them and say, look, the last deal we was going to give y'all, like you said, because of the hurricane and everything, costs are up. Everything costs more. So instead of giving y'all half the money, we're going to give y'all a third of the money and y'all figure the rest out. That would be nice. And if you are a Rays fan and you follow us and I've offended you, I'm sorry. And I'm assuming that it's Rays fans because we go from 274 subscribers to 273 subscribers every time I say something bad about them ragged ass Rays. So I expect tomorrow we'll be down to 273. And again, if I offended you, I'm sorry. But also, fuck my daddy Rays. And with that, Marlo, Gino Oriema said that because of big conferences spending $20 million on revenue sharing, that Title IX is pretty much out the window.
Shit. You better look. That's a law.
So here's what here's what I'm thinking, right?
Title IX is a federal law. He could
That was
say he could talk to his mouth like fish. Let them try to do something against Title IX. There's been so many lawsuits, won and lost, but all in favor of Title IX. So schools have lost accreditation because of that.
I agree. But I think Gino's it's because of revenue share stance is misplaced because didn't they get in office and dismantle 90% of the Department of Education.
Man,
The
you
Department of
can't
Education is
you can't
the arm that enforces Title IX. Them the people
you,
you're supposed to be mad at.
you can't hold decades of law up to this administration. It's just he's he's been sued and lost so much in court that it's terrible. So yeah,
Well, I again, I just be reading sometimes. Let me see if I can share this because I just be reading sometimes, right? And every time somebody say something crazy, I get triggered. I don't mean to get triggered. I just get triggered sometimes. It happens. But we've seen the women's tournament at an all-time high. We've seen USF is giving their head coach $800,000, her staff $700,000, and another $800,000 for the roster. That puts them in top 20 as far as revenue share spending in women's basketball. This is USF. I don't know. Maybe Gino worried that people might catch up with UConn. Oh, wait. South Carolina already caught up with them. Shout out to Dawn. Again, I asked, can her people fight? Y'all don't never answer that question. I just want to know if her people can fight. Um, but we here, man. It's all good. Revenue sharing and NIL has not ruined sports. It has not. We'll get to what's ruining college sports a little later, but it ain't NIL and revenue share.
Does it start with a C?
Yes, it does. It absolutely does. It does. And I find, you know what? I'm gonna wait till Punim get here. We'll talk about that then. We got about another 30 minutes. He'll be here. So the Orange Blossom Classic had a presser today, and in that presser, Quinn Gray had some interesting comments about having HBCU games and you turn on the TV and the seats look empty. And it makes it difficult for corporations to get behind events that don't have people show up.
I think it's
And we
one of those, if you have the opportunity to go, I mean, when you're a fan and you want to promote the sport, why wouldn't you go? You know what I mean? It's like we want it to be a big thing, but then the people that are in vicinity don't even go. So I don't know. It makes it kind of hard.
And when it comes down to it, people give money to people that they like and things that they like, and it's simple as that. So when it comes down to sponsors and things of that magnitude, we got to be able to solicit sponsors that sponsor these events. And how do we do that? As Coach said, it's about the community getting butts in the seats and supporting each other, right? To be able to be on TV on ESPN and to see empty seats in the stands, sponsors ain't gonna sponsor that. People ain't gonna throw money at that. So in order to be able to get the bigger sponsors and people to throw more money at your events and make those events reputable events, you got to have people in the stands. And we, as HBCU communities, there's no way, for instance, Celebration Bowl shouldn't have had a jam-packed stadium in Atlanta. I don't care who playing. HBCUs should have been representing each other in the Celebration Bowl. There's so many people in Atlanta that have gone to HBCUs that stadium should have been standing room only, in my opinion. It was Prairie View, it was South Carolina State, it was HBCUs, and HBCUs should have stood up in the paint or should stand up in the paint for each other, especially in those type of venues and those type of opportunities. So with that, we got to be able to support each other because there's a conglomerate of alumni down here that aren't South Carolina State, that aren't FAMU, Tennessee State, Howard, all these other HBCUs. But when we come down, they should come represent HBCUs, not only just because, or not only just FAMU and South Carolina State, but because we're one HBCU community. So that support has to be there for us to be able to continue these classics, to get the sponsorship that we need to continue these classics.
Mm-hmm.
So, like Lil Baby said, it's not marketed properly. And I'll go a step further, and some of the HBCU brethren are going to get mad at me, right? But you have to understand that to expand your fan base, it can't be just HBCU alums. If you especially in Florida, if you understand that for the Florida HBCUs, it has become difficult to get students into HBCUs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Next, we are talking about a football season that people are preparing for their teams. So if you are a Howard grad and you love Howard football and it's football season, you're probably going to be saving your money for Howard football games if you're a season ticket holder. And if you have some extra money left over, you'll be at the Orange Blossom Classic. Here's another idea. Another idea is to, when we was growing up, you were asked two sets of questions. Florida State, FAMU, that school in Daytona. Right? It didn't matter if you went to college or not. They asked, which one are you riding with? We got to ask regular football fans the same thing. If you at a Bucks game, FAMU or Bethune-Cookman, and I'm going to tell y'all something, and people get mad when I say it. It's Rattlers that get mad when I say it. There are PWI alums that love FAMU, that love Bethune-Cookman. I'm a little weirded out when they say they like Bethune-Cookman because a white man telling me he loved Bethune-Cookman is strange. Sorry, just not used to it. Nothing against that school in Daytona. Nothing against them. But a little bit.
It's always something against them.
But it's, you have to, and it's incumbent on us as influencers and creators and broadcasters to start that conversation as well as to, you went mute. Listen, Zach, I don't see something about them Stetson fans. You know what? It might, you know what? The SID at Cookman is a Stetson alum, which is wild.
That's because he can't be a SID at Stetson. They ain't got shit.
Oh wow.
Not that Bethune has much more, but still. At least they got scholarship athletes.
I didn't start the segment to take shots at Cookman. I really didn't. That wasn't the goal. But we have to, and I'm just talking about FAMU and Cookman, right? So the same could be said if what Delaware State is playing. Who's Delaware State playing this year? South Carolina State or somebody in at the Eagle Stadium. I can't remember off the top of my head, but you have to do the same thing. You have to create a fan base.
Little baby, the difference is the albino rattlers typically have went to FAMU.
Or
They
there are
married people that went to FAMU, or they
there
from
are
Tallahassee, so they kind of was like, yeah, I like them too. The
yeah.
non-racist ones.
I'm gonna be the bad guy. It's a
Yeah.
lot of white people that went to Florida State that love FAMU football because when they went to a FAMU football game, it was a party.
Everything is
I
a
done
family.
told y'all.
Everything is a part across the church.
Okay, they playing NCCU. All right, so Delaware State and NCCU, you got to get people to pick a side and create buzz, trash talk, a reason to go. But you have to expand the fan base. And I'm gonna give people something they need to know. There is a large number of Florida State Seminoles that are not going to games and are not spending money with Florida State because of the current state of the football program. There are big money boosters that are actively saying, give to these coaches only. That is an
opportunity. One of them.
She is. That is an opportunity to siphon off fans. And I understand institutional racism. I understand why people don't like me because I went to Florida State. I understand all of that. But this ain't that. This is about the money, increasing the fan base. Southern, I'm just really realizing and understanding that they're in a similar situation where there are white people that like Southern who went to LSU. Again, that makes sense why Tone Deaf Valley is playing neck. Please stop. But I digress. I'm just ballparking some ideas to get people butts in seats because it would be a beautiful thing if I looked at the Orange Blossom Classic and it was damn near sold out. And for the two institutions, I don't think y'all would really care if the sellout happened to be 30% white.
No, I think the problem that the Orange Blossom Classic has always had, every fan base don't travel well. That's the facts of the matter. Every fan base does not have a name outside of their respective area. That's just what the fuck it is. So when you have a game like the Orange Blossom Classic and because you can't put FAMU and Bethune in it because we already have our own classic. Can't put us in it. I think that what am I trying to say? I think that it is not easy to decide what teams to put in that game. It's simply not. I'm not. Yes, everybody know I with the family. I'm not blowing our horn. I tune our own horn when I say this, but we saw what happened to Orange Blossom Classic when we weren't in it.
Terrible.
You have right. So they're going to have a hard time picking two teams with good fan bases, that travel, that have national brand recognition to get somebody that's just in town to say, oh, I'll go to that game. That seems interesting.
I got a question for you.
That's an uphill battle. And again, I am not tooting our horn because we're in it and we still see what the attendance look like. It's mostly us. What's up?
I got a question for you. So let's say FAMU play Norfolk State. It just with the addition of with Michael Vick or just with Deshaun Jackson, Delaware State with Deshaun Jackson. Do you think some of that attendance can come in from outside?
No. Michael Vick might be the only person that you can put in that game and you draw more people
Mm.
because he's Michael Vick, not necessarily because it's Norfolk State. This is not a shot at Norfolk State. I think we have talked. I think we said shit that probably they could probably pick two different teams. Has Flomo and Skiggy played each other before? Pick them both. Skiggy has an amazing fan base that will travel. Potentially, like if you're not getting what you need at the FCS level, maybe try another level. Maybe try different. Maybe try two different teams. Like you got it. You that ain't gonna be an easy pick, but they gonna have. But I understand if they want to try something different. But it's not gonna be easy.
But do you think that Coach Gray was correct in what he said as far as in order for you to get the big name sponsors, you got to get butts in the seat?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I meant to retweet it.
You
I know somebody said, "Well, I saw bowl games that was empty." We niggas, okay? We don't get to be mediocre and still get a check with a lot of zeros. We have to be excellent and amazing, okay? So yeah, you can give Jacksonville and Jacksonville State and shit. Give me a Rice a bowl name together and nobody shows up and they still get the cash in. We ain't them. We well aware of who we are and what we have to do to get a lot of zeros on the check. We don't shy away from it.
We got to work double the time. We got to work double the. We got
Yeah,
to work two times harder just to get what
exactly.
we can get.
So that whole PWI conversation is gonna be null and void. We know who the hell we are.
It's
Just
the
like
same
we
thing.
know we gonna walk a tightrope anytime we even get that money. If you have a dip in attendance for a year, they're gonna start looking strange.
It's just the same thing like he said about the Celebration Bowl this past year. That even though it was PD versus South Carolina State, that it should have been filled out. You know, the stadium should have been filled to the brim with number HBCU love up
Yes,
in there.
even though your school was not in that game, you should have been there. And even if you didn't go, you should have at least bought a ticket, made a donation or something. Because that money, whoever wins, the money still goes. Your prospective conference still get a cut of the money. So if you
Hmm.
want your school to be better, if you want your conference to be better, you gonna have to you gonna have to break some bread. Like, but I bought season tickets to basketball this year. But years prior, even if I didn't buy season tickets and I wasn't going, I would buy a ticket.
mhm.
Little baby, I'm about to say something that might make some people mad. And Marlo know this to be true. Classic weekend and the Orange Blossom Classic. I saw more people that I know at ancillary events
Yep.
than at the event.
Yep.
I will see people with their fraternity and their sorority brothers and sisters. I will see friends that hang out but was not at the game.
I understand where you coming from because it's the same thing in Dallas here with the state fair classes. You'll see more people, but it's with that it's different because the game is the first weekend of the state, of the actual fair. So,
Right.
but this is something that you will see when you come down there. If you ride
Very
down you ride down MLK and you go to the alumni, you go to the you see the alumni houses that's stretched on MLK. You will see everybody out there tailgating, partying, and stuff like that. It's like 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You'll see people tailgating, partying. It's almost like a parade before you even get into the fair. You find your parking spot. You walk down to you walk down the fair park, get in, get into the stadium. You know, it'll probably be about maybe 50,000 that's in the stadium that seats 92,000. And remember, we talking about a stadium before it got renovated by the city that it only seated 63,000, and it used to be filled to the brim. It don't matter if Prairie View was trash or not. It was
But
filled. You
I
know what I'm saying?
but I will say 52,000 is still not a bad number.
It's not a bad number.
It's not. It's not a bad number at all.
You know, no, no, no matter what, how many seats the stadium can hold, if you get 52,000 people in the building, you did your job.
You did your
You know
Hmm.
what I
thanks,
mean?
CP.
You know what
Thank
I
you.
mean?
Yeah,
So that whole narrative that, oh, because it dropped from 60 to 50, that something's wrong. I'm gonna say it like this: you get 50,000, you good. But it's like the stadiums that hold 27,000, but it's 3,000 people in there. That's when you
yeah,
got a problem.
that's where you got a real problem. But and see too, being in Miami, like you literally got to save up for like a damn whole damn year, unless you from the area, unless you from Florida. Period. You got to damn near save up for an outsider like us. You got to save up. Like it's like
It's like that even if you're from Florida. Like, bro, I live in North Florida. I am closer to you in Dallas than I am Miami.
that is true. Cause it's with like almost like
It's
9 hours to get.
like 8 hours, and I can probably do it in 7 if I got a ticket. But it's not even a smooth 8 hours. That's a rough drive, bro. It is not an easy drive. And then our airport is bad here. Like we used to be able to get straight um
Direct flight.
direct flights to Miami, but you can't even. I can get a direct flight to Houston. I can't get one to Miami.
A flight from Tampa to Tallahassee is $1,006 round trip.
hmm I
Yeah,
only
I
fly.
will drive.
Exactly. I only fly out of Tallahassee when my job is paying for it, because it ain't my money.
I
Oh,
will
they be like,
hitchhike a
"What
ride.
airport you want to fly to, Tallahassee?" When I gotta go somewhere, I'm driving to Jacksonville or Panama.
Um, but my whole thing, and again, I'm probably gonna like run afoul of some people. I'm probably gonna get ran up on when they see this. The people that I saw before the game, the Orange Blossom Classic, and after the game, that was in that little cigar bar that was right there on the corner. Why why I ain't see you at the game? Why come I ain't see you at the game, but you at the cigar bar having a good old time? And the cigar bar is walking distance from the stadium.
Right.
There's no reason for you to be at the event if you're not going to the event.
Like it was.
Well,
If you
the
think about
game
like so like if you think about this, man, like that third year we played, Jeff State, we played y'all in the classic, right? And that was TC's first year, and that was Willie's last season as head coach at Fam. It nearly didn't even get that many people inside of the stadium because a lot of people, well, shit, a lot of us from Jackson was like, hey, we choose between going to the classic because we played in the MEAC SWAC challenge. We're gonna choose between going to Atlanta or we're gonna go down to Miami. And a lot of people chose to go to Atlanta because it was
it made
it
more
was more
financial sense.
financial sense for them. And there was still some people that went to Miami. But if you, like I said, if you got the money, if you saved up, like you got you a budget to go to all the games, to be on the road to go to all the games and stuff like that, then then more power to you. Like shit, we had number one JSU fan, my girl Miss LaQuay, her and her husband was at every game on the road. They went to Bethune when and we demolished them on their homecoming
They ain't got to do
in
that no more,
24.
bro. They play at the city facilities.
But you know what I'm saying though. But it's if you got the money to travel to do all that, that's
Yeah, I
cool.
mean,
But
it's like Lil Baby said, Atlanta's cheaper, and that's because people who don't understand it, Miami is the playground for rich New Yorkers, and that is also why it's so fucking expensive. When New Yorkers want to hang out and have a good time, and they got money, they go to
they
Miami.
go to Miami. Yeah, and
Well,
and then
it's gonna be a little cheaper now because what y'all don't know is all around that time, a certain person used to have an all-white party at his house. So those aren't going on anymore. So it has been a little bit cheaper. I'm
No,
gonna say it
Labor
that
Day
way.
weekend down there is still expensive. And you have a football game and Labor Day weekend in Miami, which is notorious for just being busy, sold out, and
3 football
expensive.
games. It's
Three
usually
football
three.
games. Three football games. So I mean, if if I was the Orange Blossom Classic, I would even look at Jacksonville and potentially move the game out of Miami.
I was just gonna say, have the good, the nice,
Or
the
move it to
actual.
Tampa. Play in Buccaneer Stadium. Like honestly, moving the Orange Blossom Classic to Tampa would be lit.
It makes more financial sense though.
Yes, I
You
would
want to
look
see
at
me in a Monte
Jacksonville.
Carlo? That's
I would
what you
look at
want.
Tampa, and those would and those would be my areas of okay, what can I do here? Tampa, in hell, at least if you in Tampa, is more family friendly. Tampa, the West Coast of Florida got the best beaches in the world. Don't let nobody lie to you. You got Busch Gardens there. Is schools in the area. It makes. I would just move the damn game to Tampa.
It makes financial sense though.
And
That's
it's stuff going on in Tampa Labor Day weekend, but it is not Miami Labor Day weekend.
Right.
but that's
So
all it's saying. It make
you can
you
still
gotta do you gotta do what's best for you financially. And what like you said, hey man, the part of it is yes, getting your students down there, getting alumni down there and everything. But you also gotta cater to the people that is not familiar with SAMU football or whoever y'all,
yeah,
what I'm saying, HBCU
exactly.
football, period.
Man,
Because if you
all them schools in Tampa, everybody bring your recruiting coordinators. The band's gonna already be there. Tell your damn your school deans to bring their ass to and turn it into a recruitment fair for both schools.
Listen, the white people will come because USL football sucks. They want to see
Yes,
something exciting.
and no, I don't give a fuck if Brad and Lisa wanna spend $200-300 to come see FAMU play because the money going back to the school. Now, what they better not do is look at anybody crazy while they there. You a guest, enjoy your weekend, take your white ass home.
don't make it be like, here's my thing. Don't make it to where it be like it's like how the Southern Heritage Classic was when if you got somebody like Fred Jones running it and he's not paying out the schools or anybody else.
Right.
And like you don't want that. Even though yes, Memphis. You know what I'm saying? The only attraction you got in Memphis is Bill Street for black people because ain't no black people going to no fucking Graceland.
Nah, I told you
They'll
I
go.
lived in
They'll
Fort
go.
Collins and never went. I
They'll
rode
go to
past
Tennessee. They'll go to Mississippi. They'll go to Tunica to go to the damn casino before they hit Graceland.
Mm-hmm.
I, I,
Ride down, ride down Elvis Presley.
Hell,
With
somebody have a game in Biloxi. Shit, I'm coming.
what man?
I have this question, and I listen. If you part of the Orange Blossom Classic, I'll reach out and try and get the president of the Orange Blossom Classic on. I'm not trying to cause trouble, but I do. I have been saying this for quite some time. Our classics, we are missing out on a secondary batch of money because there is a micro economy that surrounds all of our classics. Somebody is selling T-shirts, somebody is selling this at the Orange Blossom Classic because it's in the parking area. I know the Orange Blossom Classic or that facility is making money from the vendors. Or the institutions also making money from the vendors.
But
Probably
why?
And
And like,
that money
why
probably
wouldn't they
already
though?
go that money probably automatically goes back to
the
whoever
arena.
owns Hard Rock Stadium.
Okay.
Or but
But
I mean it probably goes back to the city of Miami because you have to buy a vendor's license for that
yeah.
weekend. And
Or
then fee probably goes back to whoever owns Hard Rock.
Or let's do it like this. Do it like this. Do it like how they did the Las Vegas Classic, right? So instead of having a major, you know what I'm saying, a major sponsor and everything, like like Denny's is a sponsor for the Orange Blossom Classic, but like if they can, whoever the presides over the as the president of the organization, they need to go talk to the Miami Dolphins, see if the Dolphins can bring in some, put some money up and stuff like that, to where both schools ain't paying. I mean, I understand the organization is paying for it, but like, you get what I'm saying? Like how with the Raiders, when okay, you're using the NFL stadium, the Raiders put up the money, and the what Visit Las Vegas put up the money. They said, okay, we're gonna pay the school, we're gonna fly them out, we're gonna team, band, cheerleaders and stuff like that. Let's have let's put this block of, hotel, like certain hotels that's around the facility, around the facility. Let's put some blocks right there to where people can save the money instead of trying to rip everybody off an arm and a leg to try to stay in the damn hotel. Like somebody want to stay in the Fountain Blue. Hey, that ain't your price range. You might want to stay at this goddamn uh uh this this Marriott, which looks real good and shit. So you go like,
Hey, Marriott ain't never done me wrong.
but you get what I'm saying though. Like
Hmm.
they did the way that they did it, and then like I said, you you get the out you pub it when you pub it and you pub it like 5, 6, 7 months. Like when we found out that Jack State and Graham was gonna be in Vegas last season, we've already like, look, we gonna start. We started looking at hotels. We had they had hotel blocks and stuff like that on both sides, and then too, they started publicizing it, like, you know, promoting it from like I think March or April, and they went the whole time, all the way up until it was time for game time.
I mean, but
Well,
also that particular institution probably employs actual marketers to do things. I think we, as a unit, as a whole, as Black people, we don't understand how important marketing is to your money. Funny story. I was in the store, right, and I was watching that damn Megan the Stallion and Nickelback commercial for the deal picker hot Cheetos. Never had them a day in my life. Bought it back today because I was watching that stupid ass commercial in a damn store. That's what you have. You have to spend the money on marketing to get butts and seats.
Hmm.
And if
yep.
you do not have a marketing budget, then you don't have a budget for an event. And that just is what it is.
And then when you game market it, that's it. That's the reason why you're gonna end up with only like 10,000 people in the 60,000 seat stadium.
Thank you.
And that's just unacceptable.
That's
Right.
unacceptable. If
Because it
It
that's the case,
goes
you
costs it
might with this.
costs more it costs more to operate the venue than the revenue made on such few people showing up.
Right. You
yup.
lost money.
You are in the hole.
You lost money, and then the Miami Dolphins are gonna look at it like, why are we renting out the stadium and they can't make no money? Because you gotta take a portion and give it to them.
Hmm.
Right.
They gonna get their money off the top.
Yep.
Right.
So they don't care if you make your money on the end. If you want to keep having something here and only making enough to pay us, so be it.
Yep. Exactly.
But we gotta take that portion of it more serious, right? Like when
We
I
gotta
lived
have
in Memphis,
partnerships.
I listen to the radio a lot, right? Because the radio that plays Southern Soul, and I like Southern Soul. When they had what game is that they have in Memphis? The Southern Heritage Classic.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason why I knew that game was going on because I knew that game was going on because Tom Joyner just talked about the goddamn game on in the morning show. They never said a word about it on radio.
Mm-mm.
Not one damn word. And I live right around the corner from the damn state. I was like, oh shit, Southern Heritage Classic this weekend. So
And
imagine
then his,
when at that time it was people moving into Memphis because they were working for Nike and the Children's Hospital up there and some other
and
stuff.
FedEx.
And FedEx, it was something else there too. It was a couple other. So you got people that's living there, and you got black people that do not have a connection to HBCU sports that don't even know nothing going on. Yeah, they will come out, they will hang out, spend a couple dollars, go to a game, go home. You hadn't said a word about it. We got to get better at that. Like even you at least got to market in the regions that you in the region in the home region of the teams that you're trying to get there at a minimum.
In the mediums that people are on,
Yes.
radio play cannot just be your only advertising model. You need to be marketing on Twitter, on Facebook. You need wherever we are and people that watch football games are. That's where you got to
That's
market.
where you need to be.
Yeah, they started doing that for the state fair class, and they started when
That
they
is true.
started. They used to start. They used to be marketing on the radio,
Little baby,
and
you got a point, but Tom Joyner would have talked about that game regardless because that was his sole purpose in life. Where he said the party on the ocean to keep kids in HBCUs. That was his
Yep.
purpose in life, and he did it
he was a fly job.
exactly.
That man used to fly from Dallas to Chicago and back every week. He
Man, I
had,
remember he did a sky show at the moon during homecoming one year.
He did. He had it was a what was it? But they had a bid whist tournament there too, Marlo, at the moon.
Yeah, I won it. And
I just
So,
want to
but
say
little
this.
baby got a point. So, unfortunately, Ricky Smiley got handed the keys to the palace, and I'm not a huge Ricky Smiley fan. I do not listen to him at all. But that's a good question. Does he talk about the Celebration Bowl or the Orange Blossom Classic or the Southern Heritage? Does he talk about any of that?
no, he'll talk about the Magic City Classic before
Magic
he talk
City.
about anything else.
That's because
Like when he was in Dallas, he was talking about the State Fair Classic also because yeah, he was stationed. His station was in Dallas until he went nationwide being on radio. But like you said, you gotta use the social media mediums, the Twitters, the Facebooks, your Instagrams,
your influencers, your
your
content
influence.
creators,
Yeah,
meet the people where they at.
We here. And listen, I've been begging y'all to send me commercials. I will run the commercials for free. Send the commercials.
all right, I'm going back in, y'all.
All right, thanks,
All
Doc.
right, Doc.
Well, I'm hoping Pooh gets in here soon because it's a bunch going on. It's a bunch going on in college sports. Um,
Man, this has been a damn week for sports.
I
Folks been
just
fired, folks been hired, people in the portal. Whew.
so let me get to the Flomo. Hold on, the Flomo announcement because Florida Memorial and I listen. I've been retweeting, but we really haven't been able to cover it like I want to because time is not always on my side. But Florida Memorial, their baseball team kind of nice, kind of nice. So, but where is it? So today, Florida Memorial announced their new athletic director is Chandra Dorsey Felton. Um, Shout out to her. I'm going to reach out I'll send an email to get her on the show because again, we have the only HBCU that is in the NAIA version of the SEC, as I was told, and
Yeah.
they have been holding their own. So we gonna again, we in Florida this year. I'm gonna get more hands on with Florida Memorial. So look out. Um, Flomo has been making some moves.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I Why the hell? I just forgot it was a versus tonight. I opened now TikTok and Tyrese yelling off key on the damn screen.
you know what? I wasn't gonna say nothing because they've been talking about that on the radio and on. I have to listen to the radio, y'all. When I'm with the blonde haired lady, we went grocery shopping today, so I have to listen to the radio with her.
We don't be expecting no radio with me. We playing King George and 3-6 Mafia.
Listen, I'm finna get off topic real quick. There is a song that has been on every New Orleans Mardi Gras little TikTok. All I know is I don't know by you. I don't know what the name of that song is. I ain't gonna sing the rest of it because of cuss words. But I don't mess with you. Yeah, I don't know what that song is. I need to get that song.
Oh, it's
I
probably
need,
it's either the Zydeco version or the bounce version. So it's probably a mashup of two other songs that ain't got nothing to do with it.
oh man, I just sit there and just go through the little Mardi Gras because man, I just want to tell people I don't fuck with you. So I wasn't supposed to cuss just then, and I just cussed anyway. Anyway, um, but I don't know. I just lost my whole train of thought. But um, couple things. Albany State has removed the interim tag from Coach Todd Triplett, and I
That's a
mean,
good hire.
yeah, leading the team the way he did. They had it happens. You have a monster season, and then you get into the conference tournament and you get bopped upside the head. It happens. Other than that, they had a really good season.
Hmm.
Their season was so good they got beat in the tournament and still got bid. So that's definitely.
If you think I don't think what we thought was gonna happen at the conclusion of this season at 1601 is gonna happen, especially with ball coach. And I'm not mad about it.
I don't.
I know she is out recruiting. I know we have like a 6'4" wing player coming in. She plays on Mellow 16 and under. The returning players seems like everybody's returning. I haven't seen any portal announcements. They're in off season workouts. So I don't think what we thought was gonna happen is gonna happen. And again, I'm alright with it. I mean, that's the only question mark we got in athletics right now. Everybody else seems to be chugging along and winning games when they're supposed to win games.
Except Norfolk State.
Wait, what Norfolk State? What happened with Norfolk State?
They ain't winning shit.
I don't. You know what? I don't know what the random shot at Norfolk State was about.
Right.
I, okay.
Yeah,
Nigga,
Georgia
he said
State too.
everybody
Let's
winning.
forget it.
He said everybody winning like they supposed to, but they
No, I was talking about that fam.
ain't.
Like the games we supposed to win, they seem to be winning. So everybody else is all right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Um. So, in other women's basketball news, Coach Thornton is rumored to be on the Alabama Crimson Tide list. That's cool, but that list don't count. She need to be on the short list. That's the list that count. When you're on the short list, something can happen. And I'm not in any way, shape, or form trying to say that a coach should leave a HBCU to go to a PWI. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that we have very good coaches. And if we
Yeah.
have very good coaches, they should be afforded the same opportunities as everybody else.
Yep. And
Period.
also, I wanna say fuck. How the hell you the SEC Defensive Player of the Year, but not even the top 5, not even a finalist for National Defensive Player of the Year? And how the fuck was Don Staley not in the top 5 for Coach of the Year neither? Y'all racism, Sean. But I'm gonna shut up. Gino can win the 27,000 years in a row by stacking his goddamn team with 13,000 McDonald's All Americans, but a black person do it. Now it's a motherfucking problem. I see y'all. That's all I got.
It's some other bullshit.
Yeah, it is.
Nah, then
No, someone has to take a look at that.
Don't let you have had a family member come through. Now it's nepotism.
Listen. If you are an Auburn fan, you got to be disgusted. First off, you had a coach that you overpaid who ain't never won nothing. That's one, right? That's one. If you're an Auburn fan and you don't like what I got to say, I don't care. Fuck you. Then he had the audacity to quit. I don't care what they say. He quit. But he quit so late in the process that they had to scramble to get a coach. And his harebrained idea was, give my son a job. Because what could go wrong?
Nepotism.
Y'all know Florida State ran.
It's only a problem when we do it.
Exactly.
Yep.
Do you know Florida State ran Bobby Bowden out of town because he hired his son as offense coordinator and he sucked at it? Do y'all know that?
Well, they weren't winning. You got to understand this is you talking about you comparing apples to oranges because
Auburn ain't winning. These people won 9 games and went on a rant talking about they should be in the field. They almost got their ass beat on their own damn court by Thune. And I'm just ain't
right.
This that Thune for a change, but by Thune.
And as soon as you do shit like
Dr.
that,
Bradley.
Without that, PV would have destroyed them boys. And yeah, I said it and I stand by it. I meant what the fuck I said.
Shout out to
so
PV.
how do they feel about the coach if he's not winning?
My message board, I gotta renew my message board. My message board membership.
Because last time I checked, don't nobody like losing.
No,
nobody.
They don't.
And the only people that hate losing more than the teams is the fans.
Believe it.
The big money alumni. Let me see if I posted that link. So speaking of alumni, there was a conversation had by a former Georgia Tech head coach. I want to see if I got it in here. My apologies. I'm scrolling through. My stuff. I really don't like Mike Norvell. Let me go through my stuff. Oh, again, I want everybody to know Marlo is on Twitter.
I done already followed him. I said it. We up. Now I got somebody to show
Do you understand how close I am to like posting one of his clips and like adding him just to see the fallout?
Hey man, I'm okay.
Let them know who you are. let them know. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Petty.
Yo, so I man, while I try and find this thing, I I posted on Twitter that I'm currently going through the whole prostate removal recovery thing, and I was gonna be honest with y'all about this walk, right? And this journey has been interesting. So I'll tell you where I am. Trigger warning. It's gonna be kind of sensitive and whatever, but just I'm gonna give you a heads up, right? Okay. So when you have the surgery, after your first visit out, when they remove the catheter, the next visit, they give you these pills. And I talked to you about these pills. I was under the impression that you use these pills every third day for pleasure, right? So they have you on a schedule, but for pleasure. But what they're doing is they're pumping your system full of this drug, and then you randomly are ready for action.
Mm.
That blonde haired lady has been waiting for Augusta Brick to show up so she can show her ass. I am on record saying we should not be having vacation sex on a Tuesday.
Why not?
That was the next question.
Why not?
Vacation is
Because I
vacation.
gotta go
It
to
ain't no
work.
it ain't no Monday, Tuesday,
See,
Wednesday when you
but
on vacation.
the
It's
thing
vacation.
is, Troy, you report to people, but if you just so happen to be like, I do it tomorrow, ain't nobody looking for you. Just take a nap.
Augusta
You
Brick.
are if you looking for sympathy from this panel, you talking to the wrong people.
But listen, just hear me out. Just hear me out.
We listening.
The limitations that I had before surgery, you don't have no more, right?
She knows that.
That's the fucking problem.
And Troy can turn every which way but loose, TP.
You used
Right.
to be able to I'm done. I'm going to sleep. There is no I'm done like that no more. You're different. Now, you niggas used to lie about going 60 minutes. 60 minutes is a real thing with this new body chemistry and these drugs.
You need a safe word.
I said all the safe words. All of them.
Not
I
Troy.
said I need some water.
And Troy the one tapping out.
But you can't physically tap out because Augusta Brick do what the fuck he want to do.
You'll be all right. What that famous rapper from Miami used to say by the name of Jackie O? Shut up and take it like a man.
Listen, little baby, if they had these pills, they would not be lying. I used to joke when they used to have the little disclaimer that, like, if you have an erection longer than 6 hours, you need to go to the emergency room. They ain't lying.
That woman gonna have you in the emergency room sooner than you think.
Dude, I know how to hide in the tent. When you can't say you thirsty, you need some water, and the motherfucker just roll over and hand you a bottle of water, it's too much.
Again, this is the wrong panel to be trying to garner any type of sympathy.
I won't listen. For
Is
the men
that
are,
what you looking for?
I'm not looking for sympathy. I just want the men who think that having this surgery is gonna be life. It's gonna like end your sexual career. You have a small window in time where you won't be able to perform. Like you just don't have use of it until your nerve endings heal, right? Then they give you this pump because you need to simulate the whole process again, right? So they give you the pump. And then your body's like, oh, I know what I need to be doing because I got this drug in my system. And when the body realizes that the drug is in your system, you've been eating chiclets for a month, and it's all stored in your system. There is no what you used to be able to do and be like, I'm done, I'm finna go to sleep. Ain't no more of that.
Oh,
ain't no more of that.
Hell.
Augusta Brick get done when Augusta Brick feel like it want to get done.
Mm-hmm.
Little baby, I told y'all to be going to physical therapy, and I thought those physical therapy exercises was for my pelvic floor to make it all nice and strong. It is not. It is to make sure that you are in perfect shape to knock a hole through your mattress. That is why you are doing those exercises.
I just hope your cardio is up to match. Yeah.
Listen, she keep the house on 4 degrees. I sweated out 5 pounds.
I don't know if that's getting in the realm of too much information.
I'm just saying, listen. So if you are going through this process, oh yeah, I can do the squats. They got me doing some shit where I put one leg, I sit down with one leg up and then stand up with one leg. So
hey yo,
Bulgarian squats? No,
I think that's what it is. And
yeah,
then
I think
like
it is Bulgarian squats.
So yeah, I'm good and in shape now. I'm good and in shape now. I'm good in shape. I can go I got a good 40 seconds of fighting me right now. If a fight break out, I got a good 40 seconds.
Boy, your ass look like a goddamn beach whale doing.
Hey, that's enough time if you get a good right hooky in the fight over.
Yeah.
Oh, for real. Like people, a fight broke out at my job the other day, right? And when I say a fight, I mean a literal fight. And we don't break them up. We absolutely like in management, we simply do not break it up. We call security and we get everybody out the way. By the time security got there, the fight was over. People really don't have the stamina to fight like they think they do.
Nah.
Crook say, what did you do?
Oh yeah, Crook knew here, so I don't think he know.
I think Crook been here through the process. I think he been
here through the process. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But Georgia Tech, one of Georgia Tech former coaches, went on a podcast, and he talked about how he had a team that could have made it to the Final Four, and it was the beginning of the NIL era, and he asked the school for $7,000 for 2 students apiece, $14,000, and Georgia Tech said, "Nah, we're an academic institution." And so I brought up that happens at institutions where your demographic is not a sports institution, because your president knows what your alumni base looks like. and who he can go to for what to do what, right? I brought up USF, and then the gentleman brought up, and I think it was HBCU Mike or something like that. Brought
We
up
don't
that
say that name. That motherfucker is
not
like
that
the
Mike. No, no, no,
he
not that
show up.
Mike. Not that
Oh, so
Mike.
you say his name, he show up. Don't.
But he brought up that has happened at HBCUs, and I feel like the difference is that when HBCUs have to be cautious when they follow the trends of the landscape of college sports, right? So, with the exception of Fang Exchange and 1400, maybe, I think everybody else kind of waited to see what having a third party collective was going to look like before they got on board. And then we had these white people at these PWIs tell us that, oh, third party collectives are going to go away because we're going to agree to revenue sharing. And some people slowed down fundraising, or in some instances of PWI, shuttered their third party collectives. And then they realized what a lot of us have been telling y'all: hey, the Supreme Court said we can't limit these athletes' income.
Right.
So if we're going to continue this, we're gonna need extra funds. Well, for the people that close their third party collectives, they are now behind.
They look very stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But people been telling you this.
You got egg on your face.
And then when Nebraska said, hey, the state of Nebraska will pay our athletes whatever we want, and you can't do shit about it. And now everybody is like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Why? Because the Lord gave you some software that used the IBIS as a test dummy, and you thought that was going to save the world?
Damn Deloitte.
I can't help it. It's
them motherfuckers need to be in jail.
Deloitte and Touche.
This is what you asked for.
My size.
Oh, community notes. We here, man.
Yeah, that's fine.
We here. We are paying athletes for their NIL. And I know what Marlo gonna say, but goddamn it, the NCAA rules say they still amateurs. That's why these ignorant ass reporters who keep hollering about we need to see how much the school is paying them. They're students. Their student records are sealed. There are very limited situations where you can get into their student records.
Yeah, while we on the note,
they professional.
Of UCF, I'm sorry, USF, they just hired a new coach. The head coach of USL women's basketball is now in the top 25 highest paid coaches in the country.
$800,000 for their roster.
Yes,
and I know what I said about
head
USL.
Coach is $800,000. They have a $700,000 coaching assistant coaches pool, and then they've committed $800,000 to revenue sharing to get players there. And it's in Tampa. She might actually be able to shake some shit up.
She should be able to win. My concern is that they have a GM. I need the GM to get out the way.
I was just about to say that. If the GM gets out of her way, because she did do some good things at Alabama. Alabama women's basketball was in the basement of the SEC for a very long time. So if GM gets out of their way, they'll be fine. I don't think that's gonna happen, and that's gonna cause a rift, and it ain't gonna go the way they think it's gonna go, and they gonna blame her and not the GM.
But again, I will stop talking shit about USF if they get out this lady way. Other than that, USF ain't serious
You got
about
cookies up
athletics.
there too. You got cookies
They
up there
not.
too. Remember?
You can't be serious about athletics
I said you got
when
cookies
you
up.
get a no-show employee who is in name only. And if Derek Brooks don't like what I got to say, he can come on this podcast and tell me I'm full of shit. But they hired that man for name recognition. And the stadium still ain't big.
Derek Brooks come on the show, boy. He gonna come on there with a helmet and some shoulder pads, try to knock your ass clean out.
Listen, I ain't scared of nobody my age. We got the same ailments. Ain't neither one of us fighting. We might talk about fighting, but we ain't fighting. Pooh, welcome to the show, sir.
Man, what's good, everybody? Man, I'm sorry I'm late, man. I was leaving 7-on-7 practice.
No, you good. You good. You are just in time because it is. We talked about some crazy stuff going on this week, and I am a fan of chaos. I'm not gonna lie. Chaos is good for the timeline. It's good for content.
Yeah.
Having a coach leave a school. Doc, I got your background, by the way. Leave a school in disgrace, and then somehow come back is I don't know how it happened. I'm confused, right? Like the amount of money that LSU has spent on coaches is one thing. But this coach, and they buying this coach, Will Wade, out his contract. Wasn't there an FBI investigation?
Yeah. So, do you know why Will Wade was fired from LSU in the first place? We got to start there.
Wasn't it because of the scandal with the Adidas scandal?
That was part of it.
And he refused to do an interview with the attorneys for the school. If that I want to make sure I get that right.
That you on the right track. So
okay, so
yeah,
this man went to work and said, "What I'm not gonna do is what y'all want me to do."
I'm not.
And LSU said, "All right, kick rocks." Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, they suspended him for an NCAA game.
For the entire tournament. Yeah, that year that LSU won the regular season and then played in the Sweet 16, lost to Michigan State. Yeah, that year. Yeah. Yeah.
And he get to bring his AD from McNeese State.
Oh yeah.
To LSU
but
too.
Again, so you were getting there on why he was fired. But that wasn't fully why he was fired.
Okay, I'm missing something then.
So, do you remember when all the stuff came out about the Our Lady of the Lakes and everybody talking about LSU stealing money from the hospitals and then it was a football coach got caught with a violation because they said he talked to had impermissible contact with the player, and then all of a sudden it was the Odell Beckham investigation and all that kind of stuff. Remember when all that happened?
Yeah.
When Will Wade told the FBI, NCAA, I'm not talking to y'all, they said, okay, bet. So they started digging into LSU. And then they started going into the football program and they started looking at all these other stuff. That's why Will Wade was fired. It wasn't because he got caught cheating. Everybody cheats. Everybody was cheating.
Well, what is the pool? You ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
You ain't cheating, you ain't trying. And then if you think about it, 2 years later, it's legal anyway. But the two coaches that were fired from that whole situation, the two head coaches, Sean Miller, Will Wade, and both of those two were the two that did not want to cooperate with the NCAA and the FBI and stuff. Kansas got caught up. An assistant coach lost his job or whatever, but Bill Self was fine. There was another coach, I forget where else. They were fine.
At Auburn, it was
Yeah,
the rifleman,
Yeah.
Chuck Person.
yeah. So all these people, you know what I'm saying, they would let go or whatever. But it was he would have been fine. He did not cooperate, and it started messing with football, which you don't do. Nobody's bigger than the program. Once it started messing with football and other programs, that's when everybody had to go. That is the end of Will Wade. Now, all the people who were involved in that, the athletic director, the boosters and stuff, those people are no longer at LSU.
But guess who gets to come back to LSU though? Guess who
He
gets
ain't
to
even
make
a
his
prodigal son.
As quiet as it's told, Ed Orgeron actually was going to end up back at LSU. There was strong talks about that because the people who were there when he was there are no longer there. The AD that let him go is no longer there.
So, and I'm not trying to stir it up, but I got to ask the question because I remember this governor in Louisiana said that LSU was spending too much money on coaches.
Guess what? He don't control nothing money wise that go on at LSU. For those of you in the audience, when these coaches get these contracts that are 15, 20 million a year or whatever, and I'm just throwing out numbers, the school and the state don't pay that much money. A portion of that comes from the state, but the majority comes from the boosters. Landry can say all he wants. He ain't opened his wallet for a goddamn thing, and he needs to shut up.
Landry
Now,
opened up for
I came here.
Louisiana Lafayette.
I was about to say that's what I say. He pays nothing for nobody, to nothing.
Yeah, and Doc hit on it. He went to Louisiana Lafayette. That's a big rival to LSU. So, but I came here because I wanted to show you I'm wearing my LSU hat. So I'm going ahead and take that one off. Because I just want to show you I'm fair and impartial. And I'm gonna put this no chill hat on. Because I know how you like to be messy, Troy. And we ain't gonna have no chill tonight. But like I said, Landry literally he basically started running his mouth, and the people who do have the money and make those decisions said, "Shut up." And you saw what he did. He shut up. Because again, what I just say? Why Will Wade was let go? Messing with the football program. You think a governor gonna come in and mess with the football program too? You can go too, sir. He already put his foot in his mouth and started messing with Kill Muck and the basketball team within 2 weeks when he first got to the state house. Hey, shut up, sir. You runs nothing over here.
It don't take much to rile her up anyway. So
yeah. So, but yeah, that it's. I will say this. I don't mind the Will Wade hire. I do mind this. We're going to give him 15 mil budget for recruiting and stuff like that. Will Wade has, I think, I can't remember exactly how many finals appearances, but I think he has, not finals, NCAA appearances. He's only got three wins. He's never been to the second round of the NCAA tournament.
I'm about to say 2 of them was when he was at McNeese.
No, one at McNeese.
One was at McNeese.
One at VCU, one at LSU.
When was he at VCU?
That's what he started at VCU. He was at Chattanooga and went to VCU. Yep. He took over after Shaka Smart left.
So he has failed up. And
like most white coaches
sounds about white.
like most white coaches do. They can be mediocre and just okay at their job. Lane Kiffin
But
keep getting
but
jobs.
what y'all saying is he not even mediocre.
He
He's
not.
not.
You
He
you
not.
got the
Less
keys
than.
to SEC powerhouse program that had the likes of Shaq and his children
Hmm.
coming through there, and you can't recruit on that.
Let me give you one better. You remember Jabari Smith balled out at Auburn?
Yeah.
You know his daddy went to LSU.
Oh damn.
His daddy played with Shaq, did he?
You know Will Wade didn't recruit him.
That's crazy.
That sounds like some Mike Norvell stuff.
That's crazy.
But hey,
And you get
they
and you get rehired.
they wanted him. They wanted him. I'm again. I said
But
this early in
it's
the
this
space.
sounds to me like they necessarily didn't want to get rid of him in the first place, but they had to because of how he was behaving.
Yeah.
So
I
now they
think
think the coast is clear. It's like, all right, you can come on back now. It's good. It does.
so. The AD that he when that was first dealing with the suspension was fired. That was
Yeah.
Joe Oliva. Woodward came in, and Woodward kind of allowed some things to go on that most people, I'm saying I would allow some things. He gave Will Wade enough rope to hang himself. When the NCAA came out with they released their findings and stuff, that was the end of Will Wade.
Now, I want everybody to be clear on something. I have no sympathy for North Carolina State.
Mm.
I saw they AD looking dazed and confused in his little presser. He looked dazed and confused when he left Florida State out of the college football playoff. And again, if you just so happen to be on North Carolina State campus and you want to put his car on blocks and you get in trouble, just send me a DM. I got you.
We ain't
It
never
is
get
The
no.
forever.
view the views of Troy White are not the views of Fat Mouth Sports.
Now that
I
is
told
what you
y'all.
need to
I
discuss.
told what I said
Hey,
when I
hey,
first
you
got on
want to
here.
know something? I was
What I
just about to
said. Troy
say
Messi.
he ain't put his damn disclaimer up when he say something crazy, but let me and
I just
Marlo
put it
start.
up.
And he start. You put the disclaimer up before we even open our damn mouth. You done said a full thought out, no disclaimer. Once Marlo say the views of Troy, let me put the disclaimer. I see how you do me, Troy. That's all.
He do me
Again,
the
I put
same way.
We supposed to be friends.
I'm about to say I started talking about digging up Jerry Jones' mama. I get disclaimer put up.
we have all fall short of good morals and standards on this podcast. I
But we
admit.
know we villains. You the one that pretend that you not.
Right.
Hey, listen. I ain't.
Now he
We've been on a
speak
break.
French.
Right. We.
Listen,
Talking about some damn
we've been on a
weed.
break, so I ain't been able to start shit on nobody podcast, and I don't mind
See?
tonight.
And so I'm a Marlo just got on Twitter, and I don't know how this is gonna go.
Oh, he'll be
Ah,
fine.
hell.
Hey man, it's gonna be what it's gonna be.
Florida A&M in that school in Daytona play this weekend in softball.
Get that shit out the parking lot
Where that game at?
at Daytona at the Municipal Stadium.
we we know it ain't on BCU campus.
That's why it's at the Municipal Stadium.
I really just it be me. Okay, it be me. I be setting it up so Marlo can show out. It's me, right? So I know you Alabama A&M enrollee. I saw y'all won the bowling championship,
Yes, sir.
and then y'all got rewarded by having to go all the way up in the Northeast.
Bullshit.
And I really like having access to the SWAC, but I have questions on your all tournament team, and you men should have more than one bowler on the all tournament team.
Wait, Adrian. Thune got a hole in their fence.
Don't start, Crook. Oh my.
They ain't even damn. The city broke too. They can't fix a hole in the fence. That's just bad for business all around down there.
Crook has been saying that for 3 weeks, and now on purpose, I did not put that comment up on purpose. On purpose.
Oh, so you've been hindering. I see. See, Troy.
Y'all do know I send these people emails saying, "Hey, can y'all come on the show?" This is crazy. Oh man.
Well, are you surprised? I mean, come on. You could be surprised about a lot of things, but a hole being in the in the fence at Bethune-Cookman Field should not garner any shock and awe.
I mean, so it's not theirs. So I was like, okay, maybe the city does some upkeep because it's not theirs. I was wrong.
I would be more surprised if they didn't. They did. I would be more surprised if they uniforms match.
Damn.
God.
I would be more surprised if people do how define the field. Because it is a one way in, one way out situation.
Oh wow. I'm gonna try and move this along. So, Pooh, I don't know if you've been watching the Southern football situation. There has been a lot of talk since y'all went on break about the head football coach not publicly acknowledging the university.
My bad, I was taking my ear pod out. You say that one more time for me.
So Southern University head football coach has been a topic of discussion because he hasn't been a huge marketer, I'll say it that way, of Southern University. And we've seen Parrish rant. We had a very small sliver of this when Michael Vick first got the job, but eventually he hit the road running. And until spring practice showed up, we didn't really see him in Southern gear. We did see his brand, and I think I gave some grace because his Twitter account, like, and this is how you know people run people Twitter accounts. His Twitter account is from like, I think the last post was like from a year ago.
Yeah.
So I give him some grace there. But to be paid, and I hate using paid, but to be paid that much by HBCU, I think there's some expectations. And I'm not running your coach down.
No, fuck that. You up there talking about I give him some grace and I give him some this and that. This is the perfect example of somebody not knowing that HBCU culture. Brand is every gosh darn thing. He doesn't have a clue.
He ain't put down. He ain't follow the Roman Reigns, the bloodline model. You got to acknowledge us.
I think I think
We've said it on this
in
show. It's
sports
just
in
little simple
general,
stuff like he hasn't even put it in his bio.
Mm.
I think in sports in general, brand means a lot.
Right.
You know, whenever you get to marketing something, you have to have a brand that you're marketing. What are you selling? Why would people want to buy into what you're selling? These are all things that the marketing people use to push their brand. So
Mm-hmm.
you can generate revenue because without revenue, what is the whole, what is the point?
Broke
We look at college sports, in the light of, yeah, we like watching them play, we like the culture, but the schools are also still a business. So, we can't have NIL where you paying players, but you're not generating the money to pay the players.
I would even go further to say that the business of a HBCU is the biggest business in our community because you have people coming from all levels of our society as far as academia. The people that make the decisions are coming from HBCUs. The majority of all black doctors who get a doctorate degree comes from an HBCU.
I'm
So
glad you said that.
Okay.
it's crazy.
And again, I'm not. I want to make sure everybody know I'm not. This is not. When I'm taking a shot at a coach, I let y'all know I'm taking a shot at a coach. Right? Not doing that. I do, however.
Man, we're not taking shots at coaches, but we hold people accountable.
Yeah.
Like
I.
he
I
definitely need to be held accountable for that.
I'm glad you said that. This is one of my favorite shirts I wear when I travel. And it says HBCUs are responsible for,
Absolutely.
and it's got all the percentages of different careers and stuff that HBCUs are responsible for. I wear this just about every time I travel, and it never fails. Somebody, a white person, asks me, "What's an HBCU?" And
And
I
then
explain.
then you got
Exactly.
the ignorant white folks that don't even understand what an HBCU stands for. They think it's
Mm-hmm.
an exclusion.
Mm-hmm.
So now, whenever white folks feel excluded, now they they got a problem.
You know, it's fun. I literally, so my son is doing 7-on-7 football right now. We had a tournament in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Eesh.
We went up there and we stopped and we were getting, um, as a family, we did pedicures and stopped in the little nail shop and stuff. And the lady was doing she said, "Oh, my daughter," she said, "Where y'all from?" I said, "Huntsville." She said, "Oh, my daughter goes to school there." I'm thinking, UAH or, something like that. I said, "What school?" She said, "Alabama A&M." Asian lady. I said, "Oh, okay."
Right.
So, and there you go. It's not exclusive at all.
It's not. But they fail to realize that at one point in time, we weren't allowed to go to their schools. This is why these schools were created to educate the black man and black woman of America. That is why we created this whole entity. And now, when we get to present day, why do we still need them? Why would we get rid of them?
I mean, but it's because now, and even now, yeah, we can go there, but a lot of them won't say it out loud. They still don't want us there, and that's
I
why
couldn't go to
when
Florida
you,
State now
huh?
with my grades that I had. I couldn't go to. I could not get into Florida State right now.
Yes, you could. They would take you in the CAS program because you would check a diversity box for 'em. So
No,
they can
it maybe
say,
maybe
so
maybe
so
prior
they
to this
can
administration.
so they can say, "Hey, we tried, right? We tried to allow X amount of black kids or Hispanic kids in that didn't have the grades, or we just gave them a little bit of an opportunity and got them some tutoring, and see, look, they're doing great." Um, so yeah, you will still get in.
I
You
think
probably
prior
would
to
be
this
treated much
administration.
worse now, because deep down they don't want us there, but it's like they don't want us there, but they also don't want us to have our own thing that excludes them because they're not used to not being the center of attention.
I think especially and I could be wrong, in Florida, especially with Ron DeSantis and then the administration and removing all the DEI. I don't think they worried about no quota or no check the box anymore.
No.
Not
That
really.
I'm just talking about specifically Florida State. Like
Okay.
with even with Ron DeSantis, they still have not gotten rid of the chaos program at Florida State. It's still there.
Yeah, we still had to be the Black Student Union as
They
well.
still got Black Student Union. They still had a chaos program, which a lot a lot of black kids that get into Florida State and matriculate through Florida State are there through the chaos program. It's still there.
So I do want to go back to the original point and talking about Marshall Falk and not having any of the wearing the gear and stuff like that. Um, to be fair, cross town, so on the other side of the tracks in Baton Rouge, for was it two? I think it was like 2 months. Lane Kiffin never wore anything that said LSU. When he was out, when he was out recruiting, it was always a plain white T-shirt, some kind of jacket or something. Now his assistant coaches, even the ones that were coaching Ole Miss in the bowl games stuff, they had on their stuff. He never had anything on. But the difference is he was on social media promoting it every day. I don't
He
know.
came out and did multiple press conferences
I
about the school.
yeah, I don't know if there's. I don't think Marshall Falk is a social media guy, and to be honest with you, pretty much none of the coaches really are, except for Tremaine Jackson.
Yeah, but
And
even at that, if you come out not being a social media guy, you have uh, somebody in this day and age. You gotta have somebody putting your brand out there in your department. If they're not, you're behind the curve on recruiting. You're behind the curve on selling the school, putting butts in seats. You just behind, and they brought that name into that school to not only attach Southern to Marshall Falk, but to bring in different kind of talent at different positions. Because I mean, he probably the Hall of Fame running back
shout out to my boy ASAP
as a
Rocky
head coach.
at Jackson State because he does so much as far as like with videos and promotion and stuff. It has started. We start seeing other schools take that on. Alabama A&M, the women's basketball team. You see it so much. You have to be a brand. And, saying to y'all, you have to be a brand, and the education will sell itself. The sports side, ironically, is not. It doesn't get the attention it deserves. You have to do something to market that. I love the swag, but the swag falls short on that aspect. As a whole, I can say the same about the MEAC. The SIAC, I will give them credit. They put out a lot of content. Every time I get notifications all the time for the SIAC. CIAA,
I'm gonna say a name that Troy hates, but we ain't had this problem when we had what his name in terms of content. The content was flowing. Now he might have been bad at other stuff, but the content was there.
I still hope he get hit by a Nerf bus.
We know.
Now, we gave the good crew. Southern hired the assistant coach to coach Go Go. Can that Go Go offense work at Southern?
I think it can work anywhere you can run the ball.
you just have to
because
have a good quarterback.
it puts a lot of pressure on the linebackers staying disciplined. Like if they're not eye disciplined and they're following fakes and they're running up the middle, you're gonna be it's gonna get ugly for whoever they're playing. But the offensive line has to also play discipline because that offense uses a lot of reach blocks and you're gonna leave yourself open for holding penalties if you're not coached right. So it can work, but it's dependent on whether or not they can hold blocks, they can get to where they supposed to be, and if they able to basically trick defenses.
And I think the biggest part about can they do it is who they play. Because if you don't have the talent to make that kind of offense effective, you're gonna get the doors blown off you.
Well, that's the
Well,
thing.
hold
That's the
on.
thing, Marlo. That's the thing, Marlo. That offense is built if you're at a disadvantage athletic wise. That offense was made if you are at a disadvantage. It just has to be executed properly.
Now,
That's what
hold
I'm
on.
saying.
Southern had the walk. I can't remember his name. Of course, had the walk on from LSU last year. Is he still at Southern?
Yeah, Trey Holly. Trey Holly
Trey
stayed.
Holly. If Trey Holly is there, this could do something. I'm sorry. If Trey Holly is there and they give him the ball and throw deep, this could do something.
They
If
got to
they
get him
can,
some help.
I was gonna say their offensive line wasn't that good.
They're gonna have to get better, or it ain't gonna work.
But it's not gonna work.
I mean, that's
Uh,
Because you
football,
can
and that's
be
football in general. Though if you can't control the line of scrimmage, how do you expect to
trouble,
control the
trouble.
game?
they literally all they realistically, if they could get 120 plus passing yards a game, they probably would have did a whole lot better on offense. There were
Hey,
so
well,
many games that they were under 100 yards.
can the running back catch?
Yeah, he can catch.
yes, Trey
Then
can
we
catch.
got then we have to get him out in space. You that like if your quarterback doesn't have the accuracy to push the ball down the field, we get it. But you still got to be able to put the ball in the air. You got to be able to hit tight ends on drags. You got to be able to hit the quick curl routes. You got to be able to hit the swings out the backfield. You have to turn, the short passing game as an extension of your running game, but it also has to open up your passing as well. Like you have to be able to not just hand the ball off to score points. Because if that's all you're doing to score points, you're not going to win too many games.
Again, and we digging way deep, way too early. I'm gonna have everybody on the show for a way too early prediction. But but I made a comment early in the transfer window for football when the West Florida quarterback went to Memphis. I had concerns about
That's
Andrew
because I
Body.
don't think the QB they had last year gonna fit that go offense, but we'll see.
Yeah. But with Andrew Body, I was concerned that when the West Florida quarterback went, that was the third tier of quarterbacks gone. And Andrew Body had not signed with a FBS school. I was concerned. I'm glad he made it back to Alabama State. But Pooh, do you think he's gonna have the season that he had last year with Alabama State this year?
I think it's gonna be better.
Ooh.
You
I
say
really think.
you think it's gonna be better?
I think it's gonna be better. I think he's gonna run away. So secretly, I didn't know this happened. Do y'all know who their offensive coordinator is now?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna be better.
So this is me,
Mm-hmm.
fan of football.
Yeah.
HBCU football is much better when it's bombs over Baghdad and it's exciting football.
Mm-hmm.
We are looked at differently when we play like that. That's why Quinn Gray at FAMU is amazing. Alabama State getting back Andrew Body is amazing. Is Tremaine Jackson gonna let them throw the ball like he did late in the season last year? If he does, that's gonna be must-see TV.
Nope, he's not gonna do that. I'll tell you that.
I'm still angry about the Celebration Bowl. Like, we have quarterbacks. The quarterbacks on the SWAC are 2 times better than the quarterbacks in the MEAC. I don't care who get mad. It just is what it is. You have quarterbacks who can get it done. Part of the problem MEAC is going through, they're having a lot of quarterback changes, so that's one. But
So
these,
so what type of offense does Tony Hole run?
So all right, so at UAPB, not last year, but the year before, when they had the what was it, the number one passer by yards and the wide receiver, that was Tony Hull.
So he vertical.
He worked when Graham opened up and Hugh Jackson last year, Miles Crowley had them 3-4 explosive games. That was Tony Hull. Now the back half of that Graham season, that was Hugh Jackson. It was a point in that season where the offense looked completely different than it did in the beginning because Hugh Jackson started calling the plays.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm not
And he
mistaken,
brought, and I know Hugh Jackson brought, like, you know, the NFL terminology. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's gonna be a little bit more complicated. It's gonna be, you know, maybe abstract if you're not used to it.
yeah.
But if your players can respond to it, then you have the opportunity to be successful.
I got to go back and look. When Tony Hull was at ULM, I want to say there was a year they had this really explosive offense, but that was Tony Hull again. So, yeah, Tony Hull, he's gonna put some points up. And yeah, last year I forgot who was it. Is it Barnett that was at Alabama State?
Yeah, Barnett.
Yeah. Barnett didn't. Historically, he didn't put up that many points anywhere he's been. That's probably the most points he's ever put up. Now, if I see him body in a Tony Hull offense, and then I talked with Mr. Body, shout out to Big Rick. I talked with him, and he was telling me how they approach the game, how Andrew's approaching the game and trying to protect that shoulder is going to be completely different. He could have came back and played the last 2 or 3 games in last season, but I think he was kind of protecting himself and make sure he was going to be healthy if he went elsewhere. But I expect him to be a lot more conscious on the way he runs and more selective. And I think we see Body for a full season. That's why I'm saying I think it's going to be a lot more and a lot better.
again, I guess I don't
My
know.
mouth, I'm telling you, my mouth watering waiting on this season to come up. It's gonna be crazy.
Me too. I can't wait.
It's gonna be crazy.
I made the mistake, and I go to everybody. Listen, if you are a HBCU or FSU podcast, even the ones I don't like X and O's podcast, I don't like you, but I still come to your podcast. I will come to your podcast and listen.
Mm-hmm.
And I might come in a little bit. And I made the stroll down the PV versus Everybody podcast. And I don't know who this gentleman was. It wasn't Lionel. I don't know who this gentleman was. And I said hello because I say hello to everybody. I'm just like that. And he decided to say that there's snakes in the grass and they want to see what we about to do. And I'm not finna give out no X's and O's. Dude, I'm just supporting. And unlike other people that take shots at PV, I've been saying for a long time, I don't know what all of this hubbub is about. Y'all got 6 Black National Championships. That is to be heralded. I don't come taking shots at y'all because I know what it takes to win 6 black national championships. Them 80 games mean nothing to me because of what y'all got. So I understand from a fan's perspective, it means more for them. But for me, outside looking in, man, I go to y'all. I'm supporting because y'all are HBCU, and I'm supporting because we need more people involved in our media to promote the schools. I wish I could pop up. I don't know any UAPB people. I wish I did. I will pop it.
I've been trying to find it. Yeah, I've been looking for a UAPB podcast. UAPB, Norfolk State, Valley. I've been looking for them 3 for 3 years.
Zach is doing Valley. De facto right now, I guess, will be the Valley guy. So it's that's his name said. Okay. But dude, there's no animosity. It's all good until we play y'all. Now, when softball get to be softball, no, I don't like you. I ain't gonna like you. Because I know FAMU softball and baseball should be hoisting trophies this year. And I definitely know this weekend in Daytona, hole in the fence or not, it's going to be a sweep in Daytona.
Called get it out the fucking parking lot.
Exactly. Pooh, do you know them ladies started the season off with 37 home runs?
Time to tee off.
37 home runs. And you know what? I think ASU, because I think Spooner was recruited by Camise when she was at FAMU. They didn't pitch to her all game. They walked to they pitched to her twice. And she put that motherfucker in the parking lot both times, and they walked to the rest of the game.
Hey.
Okay, Zach said he's going to carry the Valley flag.
Hey,
my guy.
I'm going to need everybody, especially Jackson State. I'm going to need y'all to go down to Suno. I'm going to need somebody to go to Paul Quinn. I'm going to need somebody to go to Tupelo. I'm going to need somebody to go down to Stillman.
Hey, we'll take Flomo.
And Flomo. First of all, somebody go to Langston and get that man Chris Wright and get him a big time job.
I'm telling you,
I want to know what baby he slapped.
That man has done something to somebody. That's the only way it makes sense.
3 years, 2 national championship appearances.
A complete turnaround of Langston.
I want to see him get it done and then move on.
I mean,
I'm just selfish. I
understand. We want to see him get it done, but we've seen coaches not as good as him get opportunity after opportunity after opportunity after opportunity.
That's facts. That's big facts.
So yeah, we want him to get it done, but some of these hires be looking real funny in the light.
You know,
I tell people if y'all don't want to win the basketball coach, a good one. Hey, you want to look for a good winning basketball coach? Hey, there's some coaches here in Dallas.
I tell you where they don't need to come. Stay out my back. Leave my coach alone.
It's one over at Faith Family Academy. She won multiple state championships.
Shit, it's the lady in at Hoover. I don't think she has lost a game in like 4 years.
And she came from Duncanville too. So
yeah, I think she has either she won 500 games or they have not. Either way, it was either 500 wins or she has not lost a game in a couple of years. She at Hoover right now.
So this is growth, y'all. Y'all about to see growth. Wait for it. Like y'all about to see growth. Florida State basketball coach may actually be kind of good.
Let's see what next season brings. He gonna crash out as soon as they lose the Clemson in the ACC. He gonna be ready to fire that man and put his car on bricks.
He currently Currently, he got the number 6 recruiting class in the nation.
We don't give a damn about recruiting class numbers if you can't coach it. That's just wasted potential and time.
I'm trying to give him baby steps. So he got the class. Now, when getting the season, get him in shape, play. Now, I'm not gonna lie. You lose some early season, like if you lose early season like he did last season, yeah, you can go ahead and pack your shit up. Go ahead and pack your shit, because I had people saying Florida State should have been in the tournament because the 10-game run they been on. So we just gonna ignore the other 15. So if he does well and we got a good coach on a budget, I'm okay with it. But if we didn't get a good coach on the budget and we let Sam Cassell walk out the door, the crash out is gonna be good and epic.
Man, your crash out still talking about having him
Zach,
mark
see,
the 100
this is why we can't have nice stuff. This is why we can't have nice stuff. Zach.
Who the fuck would say that, Zach? I hope they bus break down on I-4 on their way there.
Damn.
They ride a big yellow. No AC.
Hey,
roll
listen. We had Pooh on because we needed to know the LSU situation. I know we ran a little bit over, but come on, Crook. I can't even get through the closing. We had Pooh on. Pooh, where can the fans find you and your compadres?
Man, shout out to my dog Ant, man. We've been on the break, work, life, all that kind of stuff. I tell you what, don't wait till you get old to go back to school. It ain't for the weak. But you can find us No Chill Sports. I think it's No Chill Sports Media on YouTube. But we'll be on there. We'll be on Twitter. On the Twitter, Mama name Twitter. I'm gonna call you Twitter.
Facts.
You talk about people need to get hit by a Nerf bus. Elon, I need you to stand in the busiest highway. Let 2 Nerf buses hit you. But we are on there. No_chill_sports. We on Facebook, No Chill Sports, and Instagram, No Chill Sports. I want to say it's No Chill Sports Media. Anyway, but yeah, y'all see the logo. We there. You know, we'll be back. We'll be back soon enough, man. Definitely gonna be back. Get ready for summer. Start talking. Because, like I said, my mouth is watering for this upcoming football season. I can't wait. The SWAC is back. I need to find out if Delaware State was for real.
That's a whole nother podcast. Speaking of which, shout out to them IBIS people who, for some reason, can't find a way to give their great players jobs.
How are you doing?
My bad, Doc. You have some background stuff going on. Doc, what you got for us this week, man?
Shit, I'm like Pooh. I've been on break. Other than with y'all yesterday. But nah, I'm just chilling. I'm at work. You know what I'm saying? Try not to slap some folks. You know how it be. But I'm gonna need to find out who ain't hired Teddy Keaton. Why he got fired from Clark? What's going on with that? I'm gonna have to really dig down in that. Get on my journalistic integrity over here. But other than that, I'm ready for football season. Y'all know this is the lull between basketball and football because it's baseball now. So other than that, what I always say, crash out on your kids and beat them out the penitentiary like my mama did. and using a Hot Wheel track is not a death tool. It is a disciplinary. It's a discipline tool right there.
Throw
For
your
all my
disclaimer.
folks.
Throw your disclaimer.
You know what? I'm just gonna. The reason there's no disclaimer on that is because his mama came on the podcast and said what she had to say. So there's no disclaimer on that.
Nope.
She did what she had to do. No disclaimer on that. Hey, listen. It's been an amazing last 6 weeks. I'm not gonna lie. I have been openly on Twitter sharing my journey through this whole prostate cancer thing. I'm not completely out of the woods because we still got to do more tests and all of that, but I'm better than where I was last year, right? I hope that you can take my little rants and me and the blonde head lady and all of this, and take it with some love and some joy, because it's people that generally don't know how to feel. They haven't been given information. That's why I've had Dr. Kanisha on the show. That's why I talk the way I talk, because they don't like, a lot of these doctors have so much information they got to give you in a short amount of time that it goes so fast you miss stuff. If I was a younger man, I would need to save my sperm in case I want to have kids. They don't tell you that, right? Because once you have your prostate removed, there's no more sperm. There's no more sperm production. There's also a reason why that lady has turned me into a trampoline. It's good and bad, right? So, I have this whole journey so it can be love led and fun, because there's too much fear out there with people who look like me, where they think, oh my God, I got prostate cancer, the world is over. Let me go ahead and tell you this again. If you are a younger man and you're going through this, if you have somebody, when you get to a certain point of recovery, they gonna love you a little bit more, and you're gonna want them to love you a little bit less, because you still got to go to work in the morning. I don't care what nobody say. Vacation sex on a Tuesday is not okay. Regular sex on a Tuesday, it's fine. We got to go to work on Wednesday. Now, if you find it hilarious, good, because that's what this life is like. I went from January the 4th, I had the worst emotional breakdown because my body wasn't working. I didn't know what was going to happen week to week. Now we done been to physical therapy. We done got our equipment. We done got our chiclets, and I'm a new person. And again, the problem is that blonde haired lady realized that I'm a new person. I'm not going back in the house until she go to sleep. That is this journey. Saturday is Saturday. I'm cool with Saturday. Saturday love, like your girl said. Right now, I need some grace. But I hope you enjoyed this journey, because black men, we need this. That's my time. We'll be back on Tuesday. Friday, there will be a baseball and softball show on Friday, 8 o'clock Friday, right here on Fat Mouth Sports. Finally, we're going to give baseball and softball their own show, their own love. And it's going to be epic, because we talk more trash about softball and baseball than we do about football.
Man, Crooks, you out of pocket over here in these damn comments.
Oh, wow. Anyway, Jamal, what you got for us, man?
I don't really have anything. I had a rough week, probably because I'm at a job that no longer serves me. So the only thing I got for y'all today is, when jobs and people and circumstances, even the city that you live in, no longer serves you, leave. It's called free will. You can do that. For me, I've been candid. I've moved around a lot due to work. I'm back in my hometown now. I have not lived here since I left here in 2016. Right after I graduated, I got a job with UPS and I left. And I have not been back here since 2016. and now I'm back. And I don't like it. Why? Because this place no longer serves me, and I'm still trying to make it work. So that is my advice this week. If it ain't serving you, leave. Find something else. Do it afraid, do it scared, but do it. You would thank yourself later. You would say, damn, why didn't I do that sooner? But don't continue to try to make a round peg fit in a square hole or a square peg fit in a round hole. Don't do it. This world is big, and we are supposed to explore it, and we are supposed to learn, and we're supposed to learn things about ourselves and people and culture, meet people, and enjoy life. Life is meant to be lived and enjoyed. That's my advice this week. And as always, crash the fuck out when people have you fucked up, punch Nazis, and fuck Donald Trump.
Crook, I still got both my balls. They just don't have a line attached to them. God damn. What the hell?
Bro.
You know what? We're going for Crook. We're going to have Dr. Kanisha back on, man.
Yeah. Now we got to, Crook, make sure you here on time when we have Dr. Kanisha back.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
all right.
Man, that man is shot out.
For everybody here at Fat Mouth Sports, Doc Holiday at HBCU Overdrive, Pooh Bear with No Chill Sports, we are out.